good to go.
All right. So we're here to talk about Apple CarPlay today in this new Hyundai Sonata. I'm really excited to talk about it, and let's get right into it. So CarPlay is the smarter, safer, more beautiful way to use your iPhone inside of the vehicle. As you can see, it was very easy to swap into CarPlay, and once you look at it, you'll see that it's incredibly familiar, right? And that's by design. We want it to look just like your iOS device, and so even if you don't have an Apple device, when you look at it, you know exactly what's going on. We've chosen the apps of phone, music, maps, messages, and then some third-party audio, because this is what makes the most sense to use while you're inside of a vehicle. And the other component that's really important for CarPlay is Siri. Siri is present in almost every single application so that you can use your voice and keep your hands on the wheel and your eyes on the road. So let's go ahead and try it out. We'll use a phone call first.
Who would you like to call?
Brian Delaney.
Calling Brian Delaney.
So we use our voice to make a phone call. It's making a phone call using the cell phone that's connected already. And we're actually not going to connect because he's in a meeting and I don't want to disturb him. But because all the information is coming from your phone, all of your favorites, all of your recents, all of your contacts, all of them are already here. You don't have to do any sort of sync. And you can, use accelerated scrolling to make a selection, or just use Siri like we just did. All right, so that's phone. No road trip would be complete without a great soundtrack, right? So music is a great way to do that. You have all of your iTunes radio stations, all of your favorites, and all of the featured stations. Listen to a little pure pop. And in addition to iTunes radio, we also have all of your Genius playlists, all of your standard playlists, and all of your artists and songs and that kind of information as well. So we have your artists as well. You can use that same accelerated scrolling to get to any artist or song, or you can do Siri. It's all up to you. So that's music. Maps is incredibly important while you're in a car. You gotta know where you're going. And I love our map system because it was really, really well integrated into not only the car, but also what you have going on in your life. So, let's see here. A little low on data today. So the cell data, as you can imagine here at the Javits, may be causing some issues, but we'll come back to this. But all of your destinations come from either your calendar events or your text messages or your emails. Wherever you have information that's coming from that has an address inside of it, then it kind of brings it up here for you. And this is great because a lot of times you don't know you already know where you're going, and your phone is smart enough to figure it out for you. If, for instance, one of your destinations is not on here, you can, of course, use Siri.
Where would you like to go?
Find some coffee.
I found 12 coffee shops pretty close to you.
Right. So we can go ahead and use Siri to find a coffee spot. It seems like Maps is still kind of down because of our cell data right now, but we could use turn-by-turn
Starting
directions
route to
get there.
Cupcake Cafe. Turn right onto 12th Avenue.
In addition to maps, we also take care of messages. Messages are really important. I use messages a lot more than I talk on the phone, actually. And it gets kind of tricky when you're inside of a vehicle. And as you can imagine, we use Siri a ton when it comes to messages because it's the much safer way to do it.
To whom shall I send this?
Leslie Gill.
Okay, what do you want to say to Leslie Gill?
Let's get lunch later.
Your message to Leslie Gill says, let's get lunch later. Ready to send it?
Yeah, send it.
Okay, I'll send it.
So we can use Siri to make a text message, no problem. We have all of our past conversations here, but we'll never show the body of the text because we don't want people reading while they're driving. Here's a response from Leslie.
You have a message from Leslie Gill. Sounds good. Would you like to reply?
No thanks.
That's all your messages.
So we can handle all of our messages in that way. There's a couple of third-party audio applications and audio app developers that have made their apps upgraded so that it works with CarPlay. So Stitcher and iHeart and Spotify have done some work. And what they've done is kind of optimize their UI to give you the good information that you need in their service, but in the Carplay system. And it's great because it's just an upgrade to the existing application. If you didn't have the app on your phone, you wouldn't see it. If you do have the app, then it just automatically shows up in Carplay. But the audio app I like to use the most is podcasts. I listen to a ton of podcasts on the road. I listen to Radiolab almost exclusively. It's
to really
great.
Simplify it,
So we can play
so
it
more
here.
white people come.
And what's really cool about the Hyundai system is we can tap this and go back into the Hyundai system, and we can see how well it's integrated. You see the album art coming from the podcast that we were playing, all of the text from there as well, and you see their existing navigation system as well, and it's all kind of side by side, and we can easily just hop right into CarPlay. Cool. Cool. All right, so this is Maps. Maps is great because not only is it the very familiar Apple Maps that we're used to with live traffic, it also has these great suggestions of where your phone thinks that you might be going. This museum visit is actually in my calendars, and it's pulling that address from my calendars. And when you go into this destination tab, you actually see all of the text messages, emails, or calendar events that have addresses in them. They'll all be here. If where you're going is not actually one of these, we can just use Siri to search.
Where would you like to go?
Find a Greek restaurant.
I found 12 restaurants pretty close to you.
Right. So we can go to Uncle Nick's and use the beautiful turn-by-turn
Starting
navigation.
route to Uncle Nick's Greek Cuisine. Turn right onto 11th Avenue.
And are you able to listen to music
In a quarter mile,
while
turn left onto
Maps
West
is working
30th
or
Street.
giving you directions?
Absolutely, but the music will pause when the voice comes
Gotcha.
up.
Just like on the iPhone when you listen to music. Or
Exactly
using
right.
your apps.
And a lot of this it runs a lot of ways very similarly to how your phone does. It's just optimized for the vehicle.
So are you connected through the cable, or can you go through Bluetooth as well?
So right now
for CarPlay.
we connect over USB, so it's just a standard USB and Lightning cable, and that's what connects and allows us to go into CarPlay.
Gotcha. All right, thank you so much, Ed.
Absolutely.
Okay, so zoom in, zoom out, and this is all based on connectivity as well, too, right?
Yeah, this is all just your Apple device.
Is there anything stored locally in terms of the maps? So if you lose data connectivity?
Exactly right. We do a lot of work with maps to make sure that your experience is great no matter what kind of network situation you're in. A lot of times it'll depend on starting a route first. And we'll do all sorts of work about caching a large area along that route. So,
Gotcha. And then you've got... It's pretty responsive. Do you know what display they're using?
You'd have to ask the Hyundai guys about
I'll talk to them.
that. Absolutely.